as the lights go out and the race gets underway for the second time today in the Aimshot Mazda 7s. It's Ben Powney that makes the best of the starts from the outside of the front row of the grid, and he's going to go into the lead a bit. Martin West is there in second place. Is that Martin Shelton, I think, trying to make his way up into third position, having started on row 4 of the grid, but he's then been off through the gravel trap, so that's not worked out for him. So it's the 13 car up into third position, which is Anthony Ridd, and he started on row 6 of the grid. But it looks like it's Ben Powney leading from Martin West, but then there's a spinner, and it is Anthony Ridd, a half spin, and he gets the car pointing back in the right direction again. So a chaotic start to this race again, Matt.
Yeah, how he was managed to be avoided there, I do not know, but great control for Anthony, who got himself back in the right order and, in fact, hasn't lost too many places, actually. He's there with the yellow roll hoop as he turns his way now in towards Surtees and McLaren. Ian Wells trying to get his way through in that toothpaste-coloured car, as he describes it, as he works his way in towards McLaren and up towards clearways for the first time. But all action, everyone making it safely through this first lap. But it's going to be Ben Powney who comes through as the race leader, and he's already extended that margin by a fair amount as he crosses the line ahead of Martin West and Craig Land, who sit there in second and third place. And then behind that we have the 66 machine of Lucas Batt, who is followed by the number 17, who had a slight moment in race number 1, that being the car which started this time from 9th on the grid, Benjamin Dade.
So working the second lap of the race then, Powney is that has the lead then from West in second place and Craig Land in third position. Those are the second and third place cars on your screen now. Powney was 1.7 seconds ahead at the end of the first lap then, so a very good opening lap of the race from him, and there's really an opportunity to get himself into some kind of championship contention with 2 meetings left to go at Mallory Park and Silverstone, both of them in October. So there's a little bit of a gap after this weekend, with David Hitchin not being able to score in either of the races this weekend, having been involved sadly in that start line shunt in the earlier race. It took out another couple of drivers as well, but Hitchin was the one that in a way had most to lose because he was in championship contention. Quite a gap from third to fourth as well, but it's Ben Dade going very well in fourth place. Looks like he's now ahead of Lucas Batt as well, and a spinner there is Lewis Penstone Smith through Clark Curve.
Yep, so he's a loop to the inside for the pit entry effectively, but he can loop it back round and get onto the track once again. But he does lose some places now to the rest of the field, as up towards the top of the circuit and towards Druids goes Benjamin Dade. He is there in fourth place now because he's managed to get his way past Lucas Batt, the man from Chesham. So that is a good scrap which continues just outside of the podium places for the time being. And then behind them in 6th and 7th places, you'll be able to see David Bowen in car number 25 and the number 79 machine as well of Ayrton Rogers, who sits there in 7th place. But this is by far one of the closest battles we have on circuit, which runs its way now down in towards Surtees and McLaren as Ben Powney turns his way towards the end of the lap. But I do think that that gap between him and Martin West is all of a sudden starting to come down.
Ooh, and Ben Dade a bit out of shape there in the ex-John O'Lister car, under pressure there from Lucas Batt. Dade in the early race, he finished in 6th position, so I think if he can stay where he is now, that would be a new personal best finishing position. But there's a bit of time to go before we start worrying too much about that. That time through, West has taken 7/10 out of Ben Powney's lead, so it's down to 1.4 seconds now. And equally, Land and West did pretty similar lap time, so they are still basically as close together as they were. We're watching on screen though Dade and Batt battling for 4th and 5th positions here, but further back behind them is the 25 car of David Bowen, then it's 79 Ayrton Rogers in 7th place as they're making their way through. As we have Stefan Mackley, you can see he's going pretty well in 15th position, just keeping an eye on the time of screen, the Autosport journalist specialising in Formula E, which he's been following around for the past several months until that season came to a conclusion at the Excel Centre in July. Here's Dade getting a bit crossed up there through Clark Curve, but that's been a familiar feature throughout the day really for a lot of drivers, and it was interesting to hear what Paul Thorpe was saying about the grip levels at the different parts of the circuit here as well, Matt.
Yeah, they've all been kind of testing their skill set, haven't they, across the course of the day with car control, and I think the majority have done fairly well in that respect to try and keep it on the track in these very greasy conditions. But we're again into that middle stage where it's kind of not wet, not dry. It's the in-between which drivers do tend to struggle with. So they're doing a good job for the time being. Out front, Ben Powney is still being closed in here by Martin West, so the gap between the top two is coming down and down. It was 2.1 seconds, I believe, a couple of laps ago, then down to 1.4, now down to 0.6 of a second between the top two, and Craig Land is not too far back as well, so we'll get to that very shortly, but still Ben Dade and Lucas Batt continue their fight for 4th place on the run down the Cooper Straight, and again Batt has a little bit of a jink to the inside to try and take the place away, but nothing does occur on this occasion as they turn their way into towards Clearways and Clark Curve. And we're going to have a change for 2nd place off screen because it looks like Craig Land is going to get the job done on Martin West across the line. It's side by side in towards Paddock Hill Bend, and it is going to be Land who breaks the earliest, which means Martin West tries to hold on round the outside to that 2nd place, which he'll achieve on this occasion. So Craig Land has had his first attack for 2nd place, but doesn't quite get there on this occasion.
No, just in the best lap of the race there as they lap there the number 90 car of Simon Parker, the local driver to cheer from Tunbridge. But he does go a lap down. So it's Ben Powney that continues to lead by 1.8 seconds from the very evenly matched duo of West and Land, and those two in turn are about 12 seconds now clear of Ben Dade and Lucas Batt, with David Bowen in 6th position. Here's West then, the man from Southampton, past low-cost champion, has done some low-cost races this season, but really focusing on the Ma7da 7s. We heard Josh Barrett asking him earlier on whether he was going to do the sort of concluding rounds of the season, whether he'd go to Mallory Park or not. Well, he said, well, he doesn't really like Mallory Park, but with Hitchin having the non-point score this weekend, Martin will be in a good position in the championship, especially having won the race earlier on, and he's running 2nd here. Is he going to hold on to 2nd place, though, because Craig Land trying to go up the inside of him into Paddock Hill Bend at the start of lap number 7 of the race. For the moment, at least, West is able to hold on.
Yep, so through in towards Paddock they go once again. Ben Powney's gap has just extended once more then, with both Craig Land and Martin West battling over this 2nd position, but it very much looks like these three will be the ones in contention for the championship as we head to Mallory and Silverstone, the national circuit, for the final couple of rounds of the season. I think the one who's kind of lost out this weekend, apart from David Hitchin, is going to be Martin Shelton in the number 99 machine, because Martin finds himself now down in 20th position. Martin yet to be a winner so far this year, but has scored very consistently across the course of the season, but it's a long way down here at Brands Hatch today, which is a real shame for him. So apart from drop scores, he might be able to get his way back into contention, but not looking likely as it stands, as the top three head their way through Clark Curve, with Ben Powney still leading in the number 37 machine. 2nd place for number 94, which is Martin West, and 3rd place Craig Land, car number 87. Not too far back, he makes good inroads in towards Paddock Hill Bend. He's a little bit later on the brakes, and maybe for the first time today, Ian, there's a bit of sunshine appearing.
There is. There's brightness in the sky. Those sunglasses, you're going to regret not bringing those now, aren't you, Matt?
I am, yes.
In the last couple of races this afternoon. But anyway, they turn their way through Druids and then back down the hill towards Graham Hill Bend. You can see West and Land on screen in 2nd and 3rd. Just ahead of them, though, is Ben Powney. Ben, who, of course, has done some F1000 racing as well over the past couple of seasons. He's also, in recent times, been doing some classic Formula Ford racing as well, with Rick Shortall encouraging him in that direction. And I know that he's enjoyed his time in Formula Ford 1600, so possibly we'll see him out in the single-seaters again. But for the moment, he's leading here, but it's still a tenuous advantage that he has here as we're coming up towards the end of lap 8 with 6 minutes to go. There's another back marker there that they are in the process of lapping. That was the number 73 car of Simon Walker. The next back marker they will lap is Stefan Mackley, number 8, who has dropped down. He was in 15th place at one point, but he's dropped to 17th now. And Craig Land, as you can see on your screens, has got the new Aim Shop fastest lap of the race as well.
Yeah, we're still about 10 seconds away from the lap record here at Brands, set by Danny Andrew back in 2021. So at least the times are coming down in these conditions now, as the top three in fact, work their way through the traffic. It's now Martin West and Craig Land who have to deal with that on this occasion as they blast past on towards the Cooper Straight once again. And I think Ben Powney's just kind of controlling this race, isn't he? A 2.5 seconds up the road at the minute, with Martin West always across the grass. Yes, he is. So Martin West goes for an excursion. I don't know if that was the traffic that caught him out, or maybe just looking too much in the rearview mirror. But whatever has happened, Craig Land has now gone through, and that was made very easy with the mistake from Martin West.
Yeah, and he's not likely to get on terms anytime soon with Craig Land again, I don't think, because he's dropped quite a long way behind. Let's have a look at the gap as they come across the timing line. This time, Land to West is 3.5 seconds. So, yeah, and he's only got 5 minutes to make that up. So it's going to be a tough ask now for Martin West to improve on third position, I would think. And equally, Ben Powney's now got a more comfortable advantage over Land because he's just done his personal best lap of the race as well, a 1:04.927. He was about 0.3 of a second faster than Powney on that lap. There's a battle going on further down the order. This is still the Ben Dade and Lucas Batt battle for fourth position. There's been no let-up in this scrap either, has there? Lucas Batt challenging to the outside line as they come to Druids this time, and he can't make it through. So Dade it is that's on course here for his best finish. We had Lucas Batt on the podium at the last meeting, but Ben Dade here looking for a fourth place finish, which would be his best yet for the company director from Manchester in his first season of racing.
Yeah, so this has not just been a race-long battle, it's been a day-long battle for these two. They've been at it for both race 1 and race 2, so great to see them doing it once again for this 4th and 5th positions. Still behind them at the minute, David Bowen in car number 25. You've got the recovery number 13, Anthony Ridd, in 7th position. And then behind them in 8th place, Ian Wells has done well in that number 5 machine to get himself inside the top 10 within this second race. But Dade again has to go on the defence as he comes to the line with 3.5 minutes to go. Lucas Batt in the 66 machine goes through, and as you can imagine, both of these now setting pretty much identical lap times within this race, because with Lucas Batt not able to find his way through, he's just going to have to sit in the toe of the man ahead of him as they head once again up in towards the right-hander of Druids. And as we look at that, just keeping an eye on what's happening with the race leader, we've got a yellow flag on the exit of Druids because something possibly has gone wide out of our view. Yes, there might be something right up against the barriers that we can't see, but I can't see anything on the CCTV images either that cover that part of the circuit. So that's a bit of a mystery as to what those yellow flags might be for. They're still waving. Slight puzzle. Anyway, 66 Lucas Batt on screen there. There is Dade. A bit more daylight between the two of them, relatively speaking now. Maybe 3 or 4 car lengths. And that's a spin for number 47, which is Penstone Smith. I think that's the second time he's spun at that part of the circuit. And this one was just driven straight into the pit lane. I think he's called that a day. 2 spins, yeah, visit to the pit lane for him. So not good news for Lewis as he drives now down the pits, and I don't think he'll be able to rejoin the race either. He'll be straight back to the paddock for him. Race leader now, Ben Powney, still out front, leads by 1.2 seconds. It did briefly come down to about a second, but I think Ben Powney again is just kind of up and down the order in terms of the gap, as out wide there goes Lucas Batt through Druids. That's his new line for the corner by the looks of it, but he has now lost ground to the man ahead of him, so looks like now Benjamin Dade is just starting to elongate this gap, isn't he? He's kind of lap by lap just getting to grips now with these conditions and starting to be a little bit more comfortable in 4th place. That's right, minute and 50 seconds to go. Yes, we can just see the half of a rear wheel of a car that's in the gravel trap at Druids. We can't see who it is. Matt Grow is the car that is there. We now see on screen, so he's gone straight on basically at Druids and has absolutely beached himself in the gravel trap, but he's right up against the barriers. So hopefully we'll be able to keep going all the way until the end. Ben Powney leads by 0.7 of a second because Craig Land has done a personal best and new fastest lap of the race, a 1:04.557. They're lapping about only about 0.6 of a second faster than they were in the first race, incidentally. But Landau's got the lead down to 0.7 of a second to Ben Powney, and they are pretty much nose to tail as they are heading through the final corner. We're just keeping an eye out on whether the checkered flag might be about to go out this time with that car in the gravel trap. So it's Ben Powney leading, Craig Land in 2nd place. And are we going to get the checkered flag this time? Yes, we are. Checkered flag goes out. So number 37, Ben Powney it is that takes the win. Craig Land it is that's second, with the race ending effectively a lap early there. 0.362 seconds the difference, but if that had got another lap match, I reckon that Craig Land might have caught Ben Powney. He was coming, wasn't he? Very quickly indeed, and yeah, 0.3 is nothing, and I think he might have got there, but maybe Ben Powney just saved by that car up at Druids. Martin West at very sort of pedestrian pace in the end. He comes across the line in 3rd place though. Ben Dade in 4th place. That's his best result in the Ma7da 7 Championship. Lucas Batt takes 5th.
And 6th place, things are going to go the way of David Bowen, number 25. Yes, it does, the Aeon Sports Cars man. 7th will be to the number 5 car, Ian Wells, the Leighton House. No, it wasn't. It was Anthony Ridd in the end, number 13, that got ahead of him, who was up in 3rd place in the early stages. Ridd was 7th. Ian Wells, 8th in number 5, 9th in number 79, Ayrton Rogers, and Sam McKee, number 21, rounded out the top 10. So some drama for Matt Grow. He entered the race in the gravel trap. That meant a slightly early checker flag, which was to the benefit of Ben Powney, who will go to the next round of the championship at Mallory Park, still in with a chance of the championship here, along with the likes of Craig Land and Martin West and David Hitchell as well, despite his non-finish there. Let's have a look at the results of that Aimshot Ma7da 7 championship race then. 13 laps completed by number 37 Ben Powney, and he won from number 87 Craig Land by 0.362 seconds. 3rd to number 94 Martin West, 4th to number 17 Ben Dade, 5th was number 66 Lucas Batt, 6th 25 David Bowen, 7th number 13 Anthony Ridd, 8th number 5 Ian Wells, 9th was 79 Ayrton Rogers, and rounding out the top 10 was number 21 Sam McKee, ahead of Lee Rogers, David Jones, Mark Crawford and Callum Barnes. And then a bit further back, we had the likes of Stephen Mackley in 15th position, 16th place went the way of Simon Walker. Martin Shelton had an early off. He was a lap down in 17th ahead of Matt Grow, who I think we'll find was a non-finisher. Simon Parker, a couple of laps down, and Lewis Pentone-Smith, he made an early trip to the pit lane as well. 4 more rounds to go for the Aimshot Ma7da 7 Championship. It still looks pretty wide open to me as they go to Mallory Park and the Silverstone National Circuit to round out the year. We're going to have to tow Matt Grow out of the Druids gravel trap, but while we're doing that, we'll go down to Josh Barrett in the pit lane.
So we're down here after the AIM Technologies Ma7da 7 Championship. Ben Powney being congratulated by the TSR team. Well done, Ben. Yeah. It's been a little while since you've won, isn't it?
It feels like it, yeah. To be honest, it feels like ages since we've done an interview, apart from this morning. But yeah, it's been a long time, and I'm a bit annoyed the race one this morning got away, unfortunately, because I think I was on for a few wins at Brands on the bounce. So, but I look slightly better in the first hat than I do a second hat, so I'm happy with that.
The pace of the three of you was immense. You were sort of 2 seconds a lap faster than everybody else, so you must have been right on the limit. Martin had a small off, and then you had Craig chasing you at the end.
Yeah, I think everyone was on the limit. I think you're right. It was really weird. I mean, like I've not driven Brands in the wet in ages, and yeah, you can almost use like the dry line, but it's a bit sketchy. Yeah, I think the pace was good from all three of us, and yeah, I think the race got called a little bit short, did it? Maybe a couple of laps.
Like 1 car off,
yeah, so it would have been close. I think me and Craig at the end, but I think we got him, to be fair.
And this season the championship keeps swinging one way and another. Obviously Dave's had that consistent run until this weekend, and like you had your problems last time out, and everyone sort of had a problemed day somewhere along the season.
Yeah, it's mental, isn't it? I think there's probably about probably after this weekend, I think there'll be like 4 or 5 of us in the championship again, and I think Westy, despite being excluded for 1 round, is going to be right back in there. So yeah, I don't think anyone can call which way it's going to go. My money wasn't Hitchin, to be fair, and he's going to hate watching this back and hearing me say this, but yeah, I'm gutted for him. It's he was looking really good this season, and to go out like that is, yeah, I mean, he'll come back, I'm sure, so yeah. It's not over.
2 more rounds to go, in 2 rounds that are going to be huge slipstreaming races at Mallory Park and at Silverstone.
Yeah, I don't know if they are live streamed, but they should be if they're not. Silverstone will be, yeah. So I think, yeah, there should be thrilling races. I mean, Mallory Park, I mean, the drivers probably don't prefer it, but I think the racing's always great, so it should be good.
Well done today, and good luck for those last 2 meetings. In 2nd place was Craig. Craig, if you make your way over here if you can. Well done. I think you were the quickest driver there at the end chasing Ben, but that lap that we didn't have, that could have been yours.
Yeah, again, I was just try and put in some tidy laps. Obviously when Westy and Powney was in front of me, I thought, right, let's just try and keep it steady, keep it calm. Hopefully we'll make a mistake, but yeah, again, Ben being Ben, he just doesn't make mistakes. He just seems to be consistent, and that's for, well, 2nd place. It's 1 better than first race, so we'll take that.
And tell us what it's like driving these cars in those slippery conditions compared to the low cost.
Oh, it's a whole different ball game, kettle of fish. Basically, it's all the throttle control, having to input. It's even when we're shifting from 3rd to 4th, doing almost 100 mile an hour. As soon as you shift, if you're not controlling your throttle, you run sideways. And yeah, I mean, it proves that those drivers that can handle it we can still race at the front and be close and be within like a 10th for each other within times and stuff. So I mean, I'm loving it this season.
Well, best of luck for you for the final 2 meetings. We'll just head over and grab a word with Martin West. Martin, quick word with you. I say the other guys, you were right on the edge. Unfortunately, you went over the edge on one lap.
Yes, a bit of drama in that one. I lost the coil pack with 2 laps to go in the end, but I'd already thrown it off the lap before that anyway. But yeah, chasing Ben, it was I was just getting in touch in distance. It was like to and fro, but I think Ben's back happy now. He's winning back at Brands, back what he's normally doing. So yeah, no, good race. It was good fun. It's just shame, a silly mistake, and now the dreaded fun of the coil pack's coming back again. So we'll have to rectify that. And but no, good fun. Enjoyed the weekend.
I was watching at Surtees where every lap it looked like the three of you were right on the edge of the limit of the car.
Yeah, I mean, we're quite lucky with these tyres compared to the low cost on their tyres. You can really dance around on the edge. They are quite well. I think they're quite good anyway, personally. But yeah, made for good racing. But yeah, they all copied my line from the first race, so I didn't have the advantage on this one going through there. But no, great fun. Enjoyed the weekend. Just be glad to get dry.
Absolutely right. The sun might come out so you can dry out.
Typical, isn't it? Yeah, that's it. Yeah. But no, it's yeah. On to the next one. If we do Mallory or Silverstone, we'll see what happens between now and then.
Got a few weeks to think about it. Hopefully we'll see you there. So there's our top 3 from the AIM Technologies, aimshop.com, Ma7da Championship. There's more racing to come. Single seaters next here at Brands Hatch.